folks, and welcome to ZSR. We've got a race for you tonight. Another one. We haven't had enough races today. We've got so many races for you today. We have got Maya-Neko versus Phant today, and we have some qualified commentators who know way more about A Link to the Past than me, who will keep you appraised of everything that is going on. Enjoy the show today.
Hello all Randomizer fans, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever it is, wherever you are. It is always a good time for a Randomizer race, and we have a doozy for you today. I'm joined in the commentating booth by Proa. How are you doing today?
Doing very good. Thank you. So this is game 2 of 3 in the Challenge Cup quarterfinal match. Maya leads Phant 1-0, and we shall see how our two competitors will decide to play this second game, and if there will be any changes from either side as far as their tactics or their strategy goes.
Yeah, I hear game 1 was a very close match, so I'm excited to see what our runners will, pull out today. Got to pull out all the stops. This is the last of the quarterfinal matchups, and the winner of this series will go on to face Zero Rush in the semifinals.
Yeah, a tall order if there ever was one. But I'm sure our runners are more than up to the task. Maya is the 19th seed in the brackets. Phant is the 22 seed. So for your point about being very close in game 1, the seeding would bear that out. So I think we're going to get a good one here. And for those of you not aware, we do have, this is a standard 7-7, so they're going to be doing the Hyrule Castle jaunt before beginning the run proper. What do you think we're going to get from Uncle today?
Ooh, I don't know, but I hope that it's bombs. I always hope for a bomb start, gives some variety. Our runners have to pull out, some real cool tricks in order to use those bombs efficiently. So I'm hoping for that. What about you?
The last one I did, it was bows. So let's have a good Cane of Burna start.
Ooh, that would be nice. Our runners are off, finding nothing in Uncle's house except for some allowance money, though.
That's a nice allowance. Wish I got that. The first 6 minutes will be fairly scripted as far as everything goes. Actually, really, the first 12 to 15 minutes, unless there's some insane amount of items, will probably be fairly scripted. So we'll get an idea of what our runners are going to be facing in the minutes to come. We have a vanilla sword from Uncle.
Ooh, I'm sure our runners are happy to see that. That'll make the rest of the escape sequence pretty easy. That hook shot, even more so. That's an amazing find early on in the game.
Yeah, so our runners are going to be able to speed this up just a little bit here. Phant and Maya both trying to get an idea of the item drops we got. We've seen a full magic container and $5 so far.
Yeah, I'm not up to date on all of my prize pack drops, but I am pretty sure that one does not contain a bomb. So our runners will have to look elsewhere. Yeah,
so there's still the pass. Oh, there we go.
Well, never mind then.
That'll cover back of escape at the very least, plus parts of Kakariko. So Phant is a little bit ahead right now. A couple of sequences ahead. Maya not far behind. So
yeah, Phant showing off some really good mobility strats with that hook shot, just gaining a couple of fractions of a second here and there by using it to pull himself across rooms quicker. An excellent use of it.
Yeah, using the hook shot to grab the key when it was like 2/3 of the way across the room. Maya doing the same thing. So should be a pretty quick fight with the ball and chain guard.
Yeah, I don't expect either of our runners to have pretty much any trouble at this point from escape. This is going to be almost as smooth as you could possibly ask for from an escape sequence.
Yeah. Alright, and Zelda's got a key, so why did she escape in the first place? But,
I mean, the ball and chain guard was there. Maybe, she didn't feel safe just opening her cell and walking out.
I guess. So other than the hook shot, not much, and the bombs are nice, but no real major items here. The sword, the hook shot, and the bombs. So not bad. We have seen some fairly front-loaded seeds this tournament, where it ultimately becomes like a race to one or two items. Last race I did, it was the Titansmith that was holding our runners back.
Ooh, I kind of like Titansmith go mode. That always, keeps you out of some of the dungeons until the very last minute, which is nice.
Yeah, in this case, it was one dungeon, precisely. It was Ice Palace. So...
Yeah, of note, we did not see a map check from either of our runners, so don't know what Light World dungeons are going to be yet, but we have no progression so far. The hookshot and the sword are all very nice, but they don't actually open up any real additional locations for our runners to check. So I expect both of them to go for a pretty standard Kakariko start after they finish this escape sequence.
Yeah, more than likely, given just the general way this goes. It's very item rich, and you don't really need anything other than bombs, so makes sense. Hookshot taking care of the enemies pretty nicely there. Those snakes and those bats are one-hit kills, whereas with the sword, at least the snakes are two hits, and you don't have to worry about taking a half-hearted damage trying to kind of barrel your way through them.
Yeah, one of the more useful uses of the hookshot early game is the ability to kill off some enemies really quickly. Mini moldorms, rats, snakes, all the stuff that just kind of gets in your way and needs to be gone quickly.
Yeah, so we're going to get a look at the back of Escape now. And see what these three chests are going to offer. We got $5, $20, and a burrito.
Sad. A lot of money in the escape sequence here. We had, $20 from Uncle. I think we had 2 different 20s come up throughout escape. A 5 rupee. A lot of small change lying around the castle.
I only got enough to pay off the bottle vendor, but outside of that, not much doing here early. Let's see what the Sank chest is holding on our way out. And a drug deal is in our future. Excellent.
Interesting. A fetch quest item. It'll be interesting to see whether either or both of our runners do a little trip up to the witch, possibly with a hard reset in store.
Maybe after CAC. Maybe after CAC and South Hyrule, they might. At this stage, it's better to just go for the density and see what you can find. I saw a red crystal at Harrow. What were the other two?
Oh, I did not see it at all. Our Glorious Tracker probably caught way more than I did.
Okay, we got a crystal at Desert and a red-blue pendant at Eastern. And we have $20 in the Well. Or at Lumberjack. So,
runners are very happy to see that, I'm sure.
That's the one thing I've not had so far. I've not had, in this tournament, I've not had, in the matches I've comped, a Agra-required seed.
I don't believe I have either. I had a pedestal required seed, but no Agra requirement for me so far this tournament.
I haven't had that one either. I've had a pyramid required seed, but so far, I'm not getting all the fun stuff. We had 300 rupees in the woods. This thief over here on Link's way out probably lost the rupees while running from the guards.
And it looked like all he was able to stash away was another 20, which is what we found in the hideout there.
So the crow actually gave out a bomb there for Phant, I think that's enough to cover everything except the race game, as far as CAC bomb checks go.
I believe you're correct, yeah. Which is a nice drop for Phant. He doesn't have to worry about having to find one in a chest or anything. He knows that he's safe. Very nice tree pull from Maya-Neko, giving another 80 rupees there.
Yeah, that's a good pickup. So, okay, well, there goes the bomb concerns. Now, let's see what else Blind has been stashing away. Well, he's not a very good thief. He's got a lot of explosives, but not very much money.
Apparently hadn't been doing much stealing yet. We do find the fire rod in the back of Blind's hideout, though.
So that opens up that opens up a little bit. You need the lamp to actually navigate dark rooms, but maybe the runners are thinking, well, maybe an early Eastern play, perhaps, but we're still a long way off from that actually being a thing. If the bow were to show up, that would probably lead them in that direction. Yeah, I know it's a pendant, but you gotta watch out for those pendant dungeons.
Oh yeah, gotta go where the seed leads. If we see the bow, yeah, the boss of Eastern comes into logic. Aside from that, it is nice just to have a fire source early. Our runners not having to worry about lighting torches. Or not being able to, say.
Mm-hmm. So let's see what the bottle vendor is holding. Just 20 rupees on that 100 rupee initial investment. Not really worth it.
Multi-level marketing scheme right there.
Yep. So a lot of red rupees and a lot of bombs in Kakariko. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this place.
Yeah, the only thing they've found so far is that fire rod, and that, as you said, doesn't really open up anything by itself. So we're going to need to find something else to push our runners in a specific direction.
Yeah, that fetch quest just, it might be starting to nag at them a little bit. It's like, it is out of the way no matter how you cut it, but that's really the only leading item they have so far out of everything they've got.
Yeah, one last check here for Phant, the race game. Gonna check it. Just some bombs. Duck out of that, and not gonna see that again.
Oh yeah, a lot of bombs in this early part of the game in Kakariko. So it looks like Phant is going to head south towards the dam and then Mini Moldorm Cave. Going to put that hook shot to good use. Kind of just skip along here a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder if our runners are going to have any problem with bombs in the mid-game. We haven't seen too many enemies that drop them so far, and they found a lot of the bombs in the Kakariko, as you said. Hopefully that won't turn into a scarcity of bombs as we get into the middle of the game here.
Hopefully not. We'll see what they get as far as. Maya is actually setting up a skip here. Is gonna go straight to check out that mushroom.
Yeah, this is what I was wondering, whether either of our runners would go do a fake flipper to come and check this real fast. I would expect that if this turns out to be nothing, Maya will hard reset the game to make sure they still have the mushroom available for later if they need it.
Yeah, because you never know. So we got that, and we got Phant in the Mini Moldorm Cave, and nope, a total bust.
Just more bombs.
Oh, the hammer!
Well, much better find on Phant's side. And the Moon Pearl, 2 of our 3 items.
Did he check?
I think he just skipped the NPC there.
I believe so. That's 4 checks. Maybe I'm missing something, but let's hope that does not come back to haunt Phant. Some pretty good, door prizes there. A Sandcart, the hammer, and a Moon Pearl.
I can't imagine that cave having even more goodies, but if it does, if an NPC has something, that's something that I can't imagine Phant coming back to check. He walked away from that pretty confident.
We got another fetch quest in the form of the shovel. Maya's heading west towards Agina, it looks like.
Yeah, getting a little bit of divergence here. I've seen more and more runners lately do this check. Agina is one of those ones that's really easy to isolate, so more and more runners are choosing to come and do this after the dam. That way they don't isolate it, and then they still can do mini Moldorm into Ice Rod Cave and that stuff on the east side of the South Light World.
So Phant is heading towards Eastern. At the very least, going to check Sarsaparilla, see if we can get anything out of that. And in the back of his closet, probably more bombs, given how this has been going early on.
Yeah, probably some small rupee denominations.
20. There's the power glove, so we have Dark World access now.
Yeah, 14 minutes in, Dark World access. Phant gonna not choose to go into Eastern now that he has Dark World access. Gonna save and quit out and probably go straight into the Dark World at Hype Cave and see what the Dark World has to offer.
Yeah, that would make sense. The two common, it's either that or near Kakariko. It's the other common point of entry. So we got red crystal at Ice, green pendant at Pod, and blue pendant at Turtle Rock. So Ice Rod might not be required here.
Yeah, runners always hate to see pendant Turtle Rock. I mean, hate to see Crystal Turtle Rock too, so it's hard to say which is better. But interestingly, both Eastern and Pod coming up as pendants, so it may be a really late game bow.
Could be. A totally hypeless cave, and the NPC in Mini Moldorm Cave did not have anything. It was just 10 arrows, so Phant dodges a bullet there. So looks like Phant is heading up now towards Pyramid, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like it. Gonna probably route in the Pyramid Ledge and Catfish, both of which are kind of isolating checks. Can probably take that hook shot and continue along over to Village of Outcasts without doing the save and quit and walking over to Kakariko.
Yeah, I forgot about the hook shot. So yeah, that is a good choice then. Just get everything together and can finish both Skull and Thieves Town. So that's 2 quick crystals early on here for our runners. And in the dungeons, that's a total of 6 items.
Yeah, it might be a little difficult with Fighter Sword, Green Mail. Both of our runners more than capable of doing a Hammer Moth, though. And Thieves Town should provide no real trouble as long as both of our runners are careful not to walk into any of the enemies. Everything in Dark World does hurt quite a bit when you're only on Green Mail, so always a concern.
Yeah, and I imagine there will be a couple of health pickups along the way. There were 2 heart pieces in Hype Cave, so I think the next heart piece for Phant will probably add to the overall health count. So there is that. Maya's going under the bridge to talk to the hobo, and $20 there. Phant picking up a Master Sword from Catfish.
Ooh, very nice find there. That'll make the rest of the Dark World trip quite a bit easier. And I would expect Maya here to full clear the water checks here. Go up to Waterfall Cave and then probably over to Zora. They do have the money for it, so they can route this all in at once.
Yeah, it looks like Phant is going to route in this shovel check. Or no, I'm sorry, I had the map mixed up. I thought it was going from the house. But so Phant's gonna go with the traditional, back cut into the dark world. So Maya's gonna check waterfall. Comes up with a red shield, which is not terrible. A lot of fireball enemies coming up in the future.
Yeah, one of those things that you don't really look for, but if you happen to get it, that's nice.
Yeah. So a ledge, more bombs, a lot of bombs.
I'm telling you, I'm worried about this mid-game bomb shortage that we're going to have, since all of the bombs happen to be in Light World, just lying around.
Yeah, it is a concern. So find out, and we get the Bernie Madoff special from Zora.
No, what a terrible scam.
Yeah.
The great scam fish strikes again. Phant entering the Village of Outcasts, finding the blue mail. Very nice safety to find, especially when you're about to do a couple of Dark World dungeons.
Yeah, at 5 hearts, have to be careful. Not going to check the C-shaped house or the bombable hut. And Maya, meanwhile, is going to do that shovel fetch quest.
Yeah, seems like Maya is trying to put off Eastern as long as possible in case they actually have to dip into it. Finds the bow. I stand corrected. I thought this might be a late game bow because of the pendant situation, but Maya digs it up. Somebody buried a perfectly good bow in the grove.
So that's a huge pickup there. Bow is still 100% required regardless. Now the catch is Maya's heading towards Eastern as a result, and this could divert her away from crystals. If nothing comes out of these, it's going to hurt really bad.
Yeah, it'll depend here if she goes to the closet first. She is. So she is going to find her glove and get her Dark World access. We'll see whether or not she decides that the Eastern play is still worth it.
You kind of end up reading the tea leaves on some of this stuff, and you think, well, the seat sure is telling me something, isn't it? And Maya looks like she is indeed gonna head towards she's heading towards Eastern. Meanwhile, Phant is through the opening section of this dungeon, using the hookshot successfully to kind of navigate some of these tighter corridors.
Yeah, this will be an important play here. If Maya can manage to find something important here in Eastern, especially deep in Eastern in the back somewhere, it may be a while before Phant gets back around to find that item. So if they find something here, it could help them quite a bit. If there's nothing in here, however, this ends up being quite a big waste of time that Phant may never do. So
it's certainly possible, and it also will hit there. If Phant can get any actual progression, I'd like say, for example, a mirror. If the mirror shows up, well, that puts Skull Woods into Swamp Palace into play. So that's another crystal. So
and finding the mirror would make all dungeons after finding the mirror just a little bit quicker too, which would help. They'd be able to route in Pod and Eastern at the same time. A whole bunch of advantages to finding that.
Oh yeah, traveling coder, like not without flippers. Yeah, that's right. That opening section.
We fake flippers so much, we sometimes forget that flippers are still required for that one specific purpose.
Yeah, Phant getting dinged up here. Got to be careful. Down to 1 heart. Does not have a bottle or anything resembling any safeties right now in this early section. So going to have to play a bit defensively here and hope for a couple of heart pickups. Does not get it.
Yeah, of all the bosses to have to fight on 3 hearts, though, Blind is definitely the one you want. Maya, meanwhile, finding the red boomerang in Eastern, headed towards the back. I'm not sure. I actually wasn't looking whether or not that means they found the third item or whether they're just taking the chance.
I think that's a chance. There's 2 chests still in play. I know at least 2 items have been picked up. There was bombs and then the red boomerang. So so this is a 50-50 play here. So Phant is up to 4 hearts with blue mail.
On to the scripted blind fight. A reminder for those who haven't seen yet, blind is scripted, so if you do the same thing, blind will always do the same thing as well, which makes this fight pretty straightforward as long as you can keep blind on the usual script. Phant managing to keep them on script for the first 2 phases, a little dinged up on the third one, but not bad. Manages to take down blind, gets a heart for their troubles, and their first crystal.
23.38 there. $300 for Maya, so a total bust. Unless this is a pendant required seed.
Yeah, that's rough. Nice that they managed to snag the third item from Armos Knights there, but overall, that Eastern play not panning out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what would actually make this so. Either boots or one of the medallions, I guess, but that's about it. Like Phant just realized, oh yeah, missed one.
Finding nothing there anyway.
Yeah. So Phant is heading north towards Skullwoods. 2 items there, plus a crystal. So has everything needed to finish.
Yep. Meanwhile, Maya follows Phant into the Dark World at Hype Cave area. Finds nothing, unfortunately. 1 out of 10 hype on that.
And that's being generous. And we'll see what she decides to do as far as running. She's going to follow Phant's logic there and head up towards the pyramid and catfish. We'll get the Master Sword out of the deal, so that is good.
Okay. Phant pulling the first item out of Skullwoods, a full heart container.
Yeah.
Not a terrible thing to find. Not what they're looking for. They're definitely looking for some kind of progression at this point. But having an extra heart before you go on to the moth fight, not a terrible thing.
Nope. Okay, and there's the second item, the bug catching nets. We got swag on our side, so all set there. So now you can just gun through the rest of this dungeon and take out Motheel and get crystal number 2 right around the 30-minute mark, I'd say. Probably even before that. Maya is making the run towards Pod now. This is dicey. Eastern was a total bust. So unless something really good comes up here.
Yeah, they're either trying to follow that bow to see what it unlocks, interested that the game gave it to them so early, or because they did the Eastern play, they've now committed to doing more pendant dungeons to try and make it worth their first dip. So same as before, this could turn out to be a great play if there's something hidden here that Phant puts off because they don't want to do a pendant dungeon. Once again, though, if there's nothing here, yet more time lost on Maya's side.
Yeah, exactly. And let's see what happens. Okay, first chest was a key, so See how she decides to play this. Alright, so we have Phant taking on Mothula, a irritating fight to say the least. Trying to do hammer strats, having a little trouble getting in, getting a lock on the hitbox, though.
Yeah, that hammer hitbox when you're facing up is, for all intents and purposes, non-existent most of the time. So it does manage to take down Moth.
Did it damageless too, and gets crystal number 2 at 2804, so up 2 zip early here. On Maya. Maya got 6 items because it is the green pendant, so see what happens here, but so far this is not panning out the way I think Maya's hoping. Phant still has a long way to go, still has many items to grab, but this is so far tilting in his favor. Looks like he might be heading up Death Mountain now.
Yeah, looks like it. Interesting play. Death Mountain not technically in logic yet. Not that that's going to stop either of our runners. We're going to need the lamp or the flute to logically get in Death Mountain. But a lot of items available up here, so it is a worthwhile play as far as item density goes.
Mm-hmm. So with the bow, Maya doesn't have to worry about the usual glitch shenanigans here. And there's the Cane of Burna. Not required. We'll make some... And there's the flippers. That's what we were looking for.
That is required.
That is 100% required. So Pod scores big for Maya. And the race has suddenly turned here. Because it's going to be required for one thing. But that one thing is huge.
Yeah, and unless Phant can find another bow, they could always clip or potion glitch into the right side of Pod, so it's not necessarily required that they find that bow before they get their flippers. But they will very likely put off Pod for quite a long time at this point.
Yeah, so nothing, just a hard container. Oh, a red sword. I don't think Phant is going to say no to that. There's the lamp. Wow.
Oh, interesting spot for the lamp there.
Yeah, wow. That adds some interesting dimensions to all of this. I think that's, what, 4 items? I think. 3 or 4. So... Dark rooms are no longer a concern for Maya. It gets a piece of heart.
Yeah, more than anything, that will help out a big portion in the Mire area when Maya has to go there. Lamp not required. Phant more than capable of making it through this entire game without the lamp. They never need to find that. But no matter how good you are at dark rooms, it's always faster if you have the lamp.
Yeah. So, last item was a bottle. Maya noping out of there, not interested right now in the green pendant. Scopular tracker suggesting flute might be up the mountain. Well, if it is, that's going to make things very interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. The other place I wouldn't be surprised to find it is in Swamp Palace, which we now know is fully in logic.
Yep. So Maya, following the tea leaves, is heading towards Death Mountain as well. So we've got Paradox Cave for Phant, and
absolutely nothing there. Also, would like to correct myself real fast. Swamp Palace definitely not in logic until we find that mirror. They still need one item.
Yeah, we're a mirror short on that. So, in the meantime, Phant is going to probably take care of Tower of Hera, which is a red crystal on top of everything else. Floating Island's got another hard container, so runners are likely skipping out on 2 hard containers here along the way as Phant heads across to Death Mountain, to Tower of Hera.
Yeah, another full crystal, as you said, full clearable. You have the hook shot to maybe make it quite a bit faster. So definitely no reason to leave this behind.
No, there's the big key, so we're all set here.
Also worth noting, because of that save and quit they did out of Pod, Maya has not gotten their sword from Catfish, so grabbing their Master Sword up here on Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
That Temper Sword, if it takes too long for Maya to get back to Catfish, or they don't find the other sword too quickly, that is an advantage to Phant. Temper Sword being the best damage increase as far as swords go.
Yeah, Phant trying to set up the pot glitch here, trying to skip a large chunk of this dungeon. Talk about that bomb shortage down to 1.
I was worried about it. This trick, a little finicky, a little hard to get. You have to be pretty much pixel perfect on a couple of them, but does manage to get it. Shortcutting their way up to the top.
Second try was successful. So now Phant gonna kind of reverse engineer this a little bit and head up. That's item number 1, $20. Okay, so it's either a compass or item number 2 with Troll Dorm.
Yeah, Phant definitely hoping here that Troll Dorm is holding the second item. Definitely not wanting to have to go do the long cutscene or coffee break down in the basement just to find what might be nothing.
Yeah, definitely not. So, but nothing else. Gonna walk out of here with a 3rd crystal in less than 40 minutes, and there it is. Tempered Sword cuts Troll Dorm down to size, and the answer is we're going to the basement.
Yeah, maybe. It'd be interesting to see whether Phant commits to that basement play. I see a lot of runners sometimes leave that item behind, saying it's just not worth the wait. At this point, Phant doesn't have a whole lot of other checks to do, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back in.
Yeah, so he's gonna skip. He's gonna check Spiral Cave. It's like, yeah, to your point, he doesn't have a lot of checks, doesn't have a lot of items to work with either. He's pretty well tapped out all of his checks at this point, except for the stuff Maya's already done, like Eastern and Pod, for example, and some of the other fetch quests. Phant has not done Shovel, has not done the drug deals, so it's getting to the point where something's got to give.
Yeah, a little surprised by Phant's choice to leave it there. It is a gamble. It is, possibly nothing down in the basement, and if so, they save a good 40 seconds or so. But I've seen more than a couple races decided during this tournament by whether an item was left behind in Tower of Hera.
It looks like Phant's heading east now towards
water checks, it looks like.
Water check, yeah. Okay, just vanilla piece of heart there. So now, it looks like Phant is indeed gonna make the trip to Eastern, finish that off. Maya played it fairly aggressively. Looks like Phant is gonna. I thought Phant was gonna make a run for Pod there.
Yeah, so did I. Completely forgot that he already did the old man's closet, so didn't need to go up that way.
Right.
So it saves a couple of frames by going over this way, I guess. Is going to do Eastern play first.
and W. Garrison asking to dig up the bone, no. Which actually, in this case, is going to help Phant because that will keep him from finishing the dungeon.
Yeah, double-edged sword here, though. They don't have a bottle to clip into the bowlock side of pod to get their flippers. I'm not sure how practiced Phant is with the mimic clip in order to get by there without using a bottle, but they may find themselves not getting the flippers on this trip into pod if they decide to go that route.
Yeah, and Maya misplayed that and goes straight back down.
Always a risk going for that bomb jump.
Yeah. So, Phant got item number 1, and the big key, so see how this plays out. Meanwhile, Maya is not going to try that again, is just gonna get the item the normal way. See if Maya decides... to go into the basement. Phant has skipped a couple of things. I mean, he skipped the NPC in Mini Moldorm cave after all. It didn't hurt. It was only 10 arrows, but still.
You never know. At this point, though, we're running out of checks to really where our runners could be hiding the next piece of progression here. I think we have a little bit in South Dark World.
Yeah. Alright, so Maya's taking care of Trolldorm, gets the compass, and gets her first crystal at 39-37, so on the board at last. Now, this is where things get interesting. What does Maya do next? She is going back.
All right, we could see something quite important come out here.
And Phant taking an intentional death there doesn't have the mirror. So we'll see how his next move. He didn't do a save quit, so is going to make a run at pod now.
Yeah, this is the correct play given what Phant knows and the item density that's left. There's not many checks outside of pod, and pod does have quite a few items. So this is the logical play for them. We'll see whether or not they clip into the bowlock side there, which will be super important for them to do. Otherwise, they're looking at a second trip to pod later.
Yeah, it's kind of mixed messages from Chem whether or not Phant knows Mimic Glitch. It's some are not sure, some think he does, so we'll see.
And Maya, meanwhile, does find out that the basement of Hera held only 10 pointy sticks. A little disappointing there.
An unfortunate wasted time thing. Unfortunately, that's kind of been the theme for Maya. Finished Eastern total time sink. Went into pod, at least paid off, but unfortunately, Eastern was kind of a waste. I'm sorry to say.
Interesting. I was wondering if we were going to see this Maya doing the spike cave, that cane of Burna that they found in the bowlock side of pod might be the answer here.
Could be. Well,
but it's not.
Nope, just a little bit of love there. All right, so could have the flute on Ped, so maybe it's not a total waste. Well, that's possible, and it really, thinking about it, yeah.
That'd be rough.
Boots, flute, or a medallion.
Yeah, at this point, like I said, we're running out of checks that we as viewers know haven't been checked yet. I think South Dark World with Stumpy and Dig Game, and then whatever's left on Helmasaur. I don't remember if we got all 6 out of Pod, but I'm having trouble thinking of any places besides that.
I think we got all 5 in from the dungeon at large, but yeah, we didn't get Pod. We didn't get Helmasaur, which at the very least is a green pendant. Ice Palace's progression still missing Titansmith, unfortunately. So, but yes, once Titansmith is activated, that would probably swing the runners towards Ice Palace for sure. All right, so the big question, he's going for it, so
he must know it.
Yeah.
This is going to be huge for him. Meanwhile, Maya going to head into the Village of Outcast area, choosing to do Skullwoods first. And looks, in fact, like they're going to go and do the back of Skullwoods first. Pretty typical play when you have the Fire Rod. You know you're going to have to beat Moth anyway, so you might as well get it out of the way.
Right.
We know, unfortunately, that both the items are in the front of Skullwoods today, but still going to get their second crystal from this dungeon.
All right, so Phant was successful in the Mimic Clip and picks up the Cannaburna and the Flippers, so now Swamp is Swamp's not in play, but still missing a mirror. But yeah, so does Phant finish this because it's the green pendant?
Not without that bow, they don't. Interestingly, though...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because they found such a valuable item in the bow lock side of Pod, they know that the bow is available somewhere, or at least something that leads to the bow is available somewhere. So that could very well lead them back towards the shovel spot as they try and clean up and find where that bow or the progression that led to it was.
Yeah, the bow, for those of you just joining us, was the digging. It was the shovel dig spot in the light room. So, definitely something huge.
Yeah, and to answer the other question in chat, no, we believe we've seen all 5 items out of Pod here, but Pod is the green pendant, so Helmasaur is holding, one extra item by proxy of having the green pendant.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I counted 5. So Maya's gonna have a little easier go of this than Phant, just on virtue of having more hearts. On the downside, green males, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. There's the bottle. That's one thing we have not seen. Sick Kid. Nobody's checked on the Sick Kid.
Actually, I believe Maya checked it just before coming into the Dark World. I believe that Sick Kid just had a rather large sum of money, I believe.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that. So 46.24 for Maya to cut the crystal lead down to 3-2. Okay, so yeah. Thank you, chat.
Phant looks like he's going to go and do some of the water checks. Maya has already done this, so this is kind of an evening out of the runners here. Not going to find anything of real value in all of the water checks.
Yeah, it is starting to flatten out just a little bit, but overall, Phant probably with the overall advantage at the moment. But the longer that bow remains untouched, the narrower the gap gets. All right, so
Maya, meanwhile, making their way through the rest of Skullwood, still looking for both of their items. They doing the back first. They checked all the chests back there. Haven't found anything yet. They're going to have to end up pretty much full clearing this dungeon before they find their items.
answer chat's question. I think the only things we've not seen Stumpy, we have not seen Helma, and Digging Game.
Digging
We've not
Game,
seen the
yeah.
Digging. Yeah, those 3 checks have not been done by either player at this point. So, yeah.
And we believe that's pretty much it as far as unknown locations. So one of those 3, by our logic, has to have something.
Mm-hmm. Maya gets both items there in Skull Woods, I think. Nope.
Now, still missing one, yeah. Got to go grab that heart container.
Yeah. Alright, so... Alright. So that heart piece,
Phant pulling out their shovel. They are going to go and find their bow here, which puts them back in logic.
And certainly right... So that gives Phant the lead for 100% now. We'll see what his next move is. Again, we've got 3 overworld checks we have not seen. Phant is in a better position to go for 2 of them. That's a nice bit of information.
That's exciting. That means the cape is going to be very required this seed, as Maya sees the Titan's mitts up on Bumper Ledge.
I think that's going to be our next item. Then I think it's going to be the Titan's mitts. Not the magic cape is going to be the item that pushes this forward.
Yeah, definitely. If the cape comes up in one of those 3 locations that we have left, I expect both of our runners to get them pretty quickly, because Phant will get funneled towards finding that as well.
Is Phant going back to... I think Phant's going to Stumpy.
Yeah, I think they're doing a South Dark World check. Going back to what I just said a second ago, though, on the flip side, if we find something not the cape, something that leads our runners in different directions, Phant has not seen what's on Bumper Ledge yet, and if they get pulled too far in another direction, it may be a while before they go and see their Titan's mitts. So if it's not Magic Cape, this gets really interesting really fast. The only other item though it could really be is, I think, Mirror, and if it's Mirror, then it's gonna play right into Phant's hands. So here we go. Stumpy has $20. So down to 2 locations, 50-50 on whether green pendant is required here.
All right. So is it going to be worth the 80 rupees for this, or... So Maya's underway now in Thieves Town. Again, clearing out the stuff Phant has already done. The wild card item.
Yeah.
The wild card item pops up. The Book of Medora.
Reading material. Definitely not what we expected. It is progression. It does open up desert, but definitely not the progression we expected to find there.
Yeah, if desert is not boots locked, that's another crystal for Phant. And Ether Tablet also in play, but as with Helma, that's a bit of a time sink at this point. So,
that's a long walk up the mountain. Since they don't have the mirror, they'd have to walk all the way around the mountain to get up to Ether Tablet.
Yeah, Phant's going to check out Agina, which did not do. Maya did about like 15 minutes into this as part of the overworld checks. Maya, it's about 2/3 of the way through Thieves Town right now. Gonna get crystal number 3, which will pull her even with Phant. 3-3 as far as crystals. Been almost about 17.5 minutes since Phant got crystal number 3, so it's been a lot of cleaning up and kind of following in Maya's footsteps, so to speak. And Maya's in a little bit of trouble here, down to 1 heart. Got to be careful. But with Cane of Burna, this will make the blind fight a little less scary.
Yeah, they will almost certainly be a little upset when they finish Thieves Town, go out and find their blue mail was in the Village of Outcasts waiting for them. Could have had it before the Thieves Town play. I would also expect as soon as Maya finishes Thieves Town that she will walk straight down, finish out Village of Outcasts, and then walk straight down and find their own reading material as well. So this will even out as well.
So it's like, assuming DP is boots locked. Oh, red mail, that's 1 item. That's not what Phant was looking for. I kind of hesitated there.
Yeah, I think there was a key on the torch. Chat can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think their boots locked out of the rest of desert.
Yeah. Sorry, Phant, can't do that. Okay, Phant looks like he's going to set up for a drug deal here. Again, did not check this. Maya was pretty thorough with a lot of those overworld checks early on. These one-offs. This did not turn out to be anything.
So I think that brings Phant back down to 50-50, 2 locations to check, either tablet or Helmasaur with the green pendant. I think that's it.
Yeah, it looks like Phant is going to make a run at Ether. Well, and it also makes sense because, again, Phant skipped Hera Basement. So, if you're a Phant fan, you hope that the first thing Phant does is check Ether. I imagine that will be indeed the case, because that's 5 seconds versus 45.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if Phant chooses to do the Hera Basement before Ether Tablet. More interestingly, if Ether Tablet has nothing, Phant will very likely dip in and do Hera Basement. Which we know is going to be a time loss.
Yeah, I would think. Now, here's the problem. If it ends up being Magic Cape, that might not, trigger in Phant says like, oh, I must go to Bumper Cave immediately.
Well, very true, very true. When you pull that Magic Cape and it has no immediately known value, might just dip in and do the Basement of Hera as well. I don't think they've done Spike Cave as either, and
no,
probably do that when they're up here as well.
So it's more like it's a but kind of thing. It's like, oh, it is the Magic Cave. Wow. He's not saving and quitting. Phant is indeed going into the basement. Oh.
Yeah, this is going to come down to once again, another probably 50-50. I would expect them to check Bumper Ledge before they go back to Pod, but they're going to do everything else before that. So,
Bumper Cave is holding Titansmiths, which opens up Ice Palace. Ice Palace. Excuse me. So we're still short on a couple items here for Go Mode, namely, as far as unknowns, Mirror and the Flute are still unknown to as far as location goes.
Also going to need at least 1 medallion to get into Mire. So we're still at
Correct.
least 3, actually 4. We're going to need the boots as well, now that we've seen the desert is boots locked.
Yeah, boots. So yeah, we're 4 items away, and you know, if you're a pedestal fan, that is very much a possibility right now. I mean, at least relatively speaking.
Oh yeah, and Kane. Yeah, Kane is also going to be required. So we're 5 items away from go mode. Maya, big brain play, taking that book and going to immediately come up and check the ether tablet, which means they're going to find their cape and they know exactly what to do with it. She will go immediately down to the bumper ledge and get their Titan's Mitts.
Yep. So the pendulum has finally kind of swung back in Maya's favor. A lot of that thorough checking early is paying off as Phant is kind of scrambling a little bit here, kind of doubling back and doing double dips here. The one advantage Phant has that Maya doesn't is Red Sword, but you know, if he's still scrambling, I'm not sure how much of a difference that's going to make. And Phant is okay. Phant's got a blue potion, so fine.
And Phant bought that from the witch when they went over to check on the mushroom turn-in, which it turned out to be a good play.
That was a very good play. Probably accepted the possibility this could come up, so definitely a heads-up play there. So Maya is racing to get into the Dark World, get those Titan's Mitts. Phant looks like is doing the same.
I think so. I think this just became a very close race. Only a couple screens now going to separate our runners.
Yeah, the sword does give Phant a combat advantage. Yes. Let's see.
Oh.
What's
this is going to be a ped check. Get your hype in chat.
Oh, yes. All right, chat. You want it. You know you want it.
Womp, 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 womp.
Yeah, unfortunately, there that goes. I suppose we can still hope for a pyramid. Could be the Cane of Samaria, could be in there.
Yeah, I suppose chat can always hope for something important being on Trinex at this point.
Yeah, Fluke could also, I suppose, could be there as well. So Magic Cape paying off very nicely for Maya, and we'll get Titan's Mitt. So major progression granted at long last. So now the question is, what do you do with this newfound power? Looks like Maya is going to be doing some Smith Chain.
Yeah, interesting choice.
Get some of this out of the way.
The Titan's Mitts by themselves at this point open up Dark Death Mountain, Smith Chain, and Ice Palace.
All compelling choices. I think if you're not keen on knocking out another crystal, the choice I think would be would be Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, the Turtle Rock being a pendant makes it just a little more enticing to go up there, just because you're hoping you never have to go back up to do.
Well, if the Cane of Samaria pops up in Dark Death Mountain, that would probably induce the runners to make a play into Turtle Rock. Looks like Phant is going for Ice Palace.
A little bit of divergence here from our runners, yeah. Thankfully, without a medallion, there's definitely no chance our runners are able to dip into Turtle Rock yet. Very possible they could find a medallion up on Dark Death Mountain. The keys to to Turtle Rock and Mire seem to show up on the doorstep quite often. But yeah, Phant choosing to do the Ice Palace play, another full clearable dungeon now in Logic, and the other 5/6 crystal.
That's another added inducement. That's probably what tilted Phant towards Ice Palace.
Yeah, getting the second 5/6, of course, opening up the Pyramid Fairy for an extra 2 checks when they're done. Maybe able to route it in with the Smith Chain if they have to. A couple other options. But definitely increases the available prizes from an Ice Palace play like this. Maya, meanwhile, finds nothing on the Smiths today, just some pointy sticks, so she will have to go looking elsewhere. Looks like she's going to go with the full Smith Chain, going to go and grab the purple chest and turn it in. Yeah, good point from chat. This is a lot of walking. Unfortunately, no mirror, no flute. The worst situation for having to do the Smith Chain. If this pays off with either one of those 2 items, though, could be a big play. And if nothing comes out of Ice Palace for Phant here, he might well find his choices as limited, so they might do the Smith Chain next as well. So we'll have to see. Phant trying to set up the Ice Palace bomb jump here. We see this a lot less now that Icebreaker has been found, but definitely a good a trick to keep in your arsenal for times like this when no Canis and Maria gets it on their second attempt. Nicely done there. And as Phant finishes descending into the basement of Ice Palace, where most of the rest of the items are, Maya gets that purple chest and finds just another piece of heart, unfortunately. So Smith Chain turning out to be a complete dud this time. Quite a bit of time lost there on Maya's side, unless Phant chooses to do it. By the way, Phant getting the very swag stair clip there. Nicely done. And finds the silvers.
That is a good find on Phant's part. It's going to make the end game much faster. Phant tried a bomb clip, did not get it.
Yeah, worth noting. Maya will definitely find those silvers. And to answer a question from chat, no. Challenge Cup is normal item pool, normal item functionality. So the main tournament that's going on is currently on hard mode, but the Challenge Cup was set up as normal. Looks like Maya's going to go over and use those Titan's mitts to check out what's on Dark Death Mountain, staying away from Ice Palace for the moment.
Which, I get, there's still a lot of overworld checks, and that has been kind of her MO throughout this race, is doing a more thorough overworld check and then kind of dipping into the dungeons. So this makes sense as far as her strategy is concerned, and it's worked. And if something comes up here in Hookshot Cave or Super Bunny Cave, see.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways you can play Seeds. You can try and prioritize dungeons because you're going to have to do them. You can try and prioritize overworld and make it so you can go mode more dungeons.
Well, there you go. Red Cane and Super Bunny Cave, so That takes care of that.
Very important find there.
That'll make Ice Palace a bit easier for Maya. Can do the icebreaker strat, whereas Phant has had to take kind of a long way around here.
Yeah, that being able to do the icebreaker glitch here will probably save Maya a good minute, maybe 90 seconds on Ice Palace alone.
Unfortunately, not a whole lot else out here. And the gold shield is nice, but the Cane of Samaria is the big winner here. Still no medallions. We're 0 for on medallions we're almost at the 70-minute mark. I didn't see what was. It's Quake. Thank you, Tracker.
Bacon coin to get into Turtle Rock today.
All right, so Phant.
Looks like Phant decides to shore up his magic before he goes on to the Cold Stare fight. Smart move, just in case, since they have no medallion, they can't shortcut the boss. Maya, meanwhile, making their way into Ice Palace. You're going to see the difference that Cane of Samaria can make here in this dungeon.
Yeah. All right. So on to Cold Stare. We're gonna need every drop of magic to break the shield. Now it's just a bit of a dogfight with red mail. This shouldn't be too bad. Get rid of one of the eye puffs. That will help. And all right, so that's 2. And there it is.
Yeah, taking a bit of damage in that fight, but red mail makes it pretty straightforward and finds the mirror. Very important item. That puts Swamp finally in logic.
All right, so getting kind of a breadcrumbs here, kind of seed. We're still short a medallion. We're still short boots. We know where the red cane is.
Gonna need the flute. Still need the flute.
Gonna need the flute. So yeah. So if something's gonna break open here, it's gonna be in Swamp, I think. And
yeah.
I fully expect, given the paucity of well, not really paucity, but the number of items that they need, it's going to be a full clear. There's not going to be shortcutting on the left side here. I think this is a full clear because with 6 items, you gotta gamble that there's something there.
Yeah, absolutely. We find ourselves in the interesting situation here where almost all of our items open up only a small number of checks. They're going to need the boots so they can clear out desert. They need the flute and a medallion so they can clear out mire. But there's not a single item that gives them a whole bunch of checks available.
Yeah, to your point, the big items have been accounted for by and large. The only thing Phant doesn't have is Samaria, and Dark Death Mountain is pretty obvious overworld check at this point.
There's our first item in Swamp Palace. Just another 20 rupee drop.
Worried about the bombs. Some of these enemies are practically giving them away.
Yep, my earlier fears about a shortage of bombs in Dark World were unfounded. Turns out all of the bombs were held by enemies. That's fine.
Yeah, fair enough. So Phant with the item with silvers now Yeah, blows my mind. Okay, heading down.
Yep, headed on. Maya, meanwhile, making their way to Cold Stare, having cleared out all of the items.
Short on magic, though. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, you can see she's killing a whole bunch of the enemies in the rooms, trying to get a magic drop, which she desperately needs. Not going to be able to fight Cold Stare without getting some magic drop.
Yeah. Gonna need a few more of those.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough.
Right, so...
Over on Phant's side, they're set up for the diver down. Oh, don't drop down there.
Yeah, don't. Oh, no. Wait, what is she... Uh-oh. She just realized she screwed up.
I think so. I think maybe she was hoping to use some sword beam strats to try and save a couple of shots, but that's not going to work.
Fortunately, it's only fire rod and bombos that break the barrier, and unfortunately, no blue potion, which Phant was able to astutely use there. Yeah, she knows she just made a mistake there. So unfortunately,
that's a tough play right there. That is going to force her to have to come back to Ice Palace at some point, and pretty quickly. Unfortunately, Cold Stare having that mirror, it's going to be required almost immediately.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is a double dip, and this is unfortunately the kind of error that is fatal. I'm sorry to say, but that's really going to be really hard to recover from, especially this late in the race. We're still a few items away from go mode, granted, but this is not the kind of mistake you want.
Absolutely not, especially with what we have left to check. I'm expecting Phant to start finding one item after another. One item's going to lead to the next or something, because they've cleared out a lot of area, and there's mostly only dungeons left, or really quick overworld checks around dungeons. Phant pulling off a very nice diver down, and yep, there's the flute.
Alright, so... Okay, well, that gets us closer to Meyer. Unfortunately, does not allow Phant to actually get in, not without a medallion, so that remains elusive at this point. I imagine after he's done here, he's going to go to Bombos, take care of that first.
Yeah, almost certainly. Then I would expect, as you said, a trip to the Meyer area to at least check what the medallion is, do the couple of quick checks around the Meyer area, Meyer Shed, and Checkerboard Cave, see if they can't find the medallion they need.
And Chad just brought up a good point. Phant still doesn't have Canis Solaria.
Oh, good point. A trip to Dark Death Mountain is going to be required here before he's able to do Meyer in total.
Well, actually, okay, Bombos, then Pyramid. That's going to... Actually, after the... Yeah, Pyramid's probably next after a quick check-in at the Bombos medallion. Alright, so down goes Argus. So, Phant up 5-3 on crystals. a couple of things Phant can do right now. It depends how aggressive he wants to be.
Yeah, a lot of different routes they could take, whether or not they want to prioritize activating their flute, whether they want to go and check the pyramid. Chat mentioning they could route in K45 as they go up that way. A lot of routing decision here to make to try and be efficient.
Yeah, and answer Chat's question. Yeah, it was left side in the back. Half magic was. Bombos comes up empty. Alright, so Maya this time is prepared and uses Fire Rod to take out Cold Stare. Or, damn, at least took one of them out. Only has Blue Sword, which Phant didn't have to worry with his Red Sword because of Catfish.
Maya does manage to take down Cold Stare, gets her mirror, probably about a 2.5 minute time loss there, needing to go out and come back into Ice Palace.
Yeah, there's a 9-minute difference between when Phant got the crystal and when Maya did. So, yeah, that is not ideal at all.
Yeah.
And Maya is Kane of Samaria was a Super Bunny Cave, so we'll see how Phant decides to play this. Yeah, does not have Kane of Samaria, but Misery Mire is a good check nonetheless for Medallion, and there are 3 checks, the Shed and Checkerboard Cave.
Yeah, Phant still needing to check and clear out Dark Death Mountain, but pretty clearly at least having a slight lead in this race.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 5 up a crystal. Okay, the Shed has lots of money, but no progression. So, Bombos required to open Mire. So, yeah, where are those medallions?
And which one do we find first? Well, nothing there, so interesting. Where else could our runners go?
Honestly, I think we got to start thinking about Helma and the Green Pendant again, and Pyramid. Those are definitely a thing.
Oh yeah, that's that Green Pendant just keeps coming up in our 50-50 shot calculations here. At this point, yeah, I think it's either Pyramid Fairy, which has 2 checks, or back to the Green Pendant play. Good point from chat here. K45 and Graveyard Ledge, both also possibilities. Both very out of the way, unfortunately.
Yeah, this, especially given the 2 that were just mentioned, they're not, it's not like, King's Tube and Graveyard, okay, it's a 1-2, fine, whatever.
Yeah, no King's Tomb, though, without those boots. Makes it a little tough here to route in anything efficiently at this point.
Yeah, Phant's got the red cane, so back to even with Maya on the items throughout, insofar as how they're going to do this. Now, we know the left side of Swamp didn't have anything. See if Maya is feeling bold, although that does kind of go against her general philosophy, and as far as how she's played this, but see how it plays.
Yeah, she has played this very, very full clear, very carefully, not wanting to leave anything behind. Except for this case, I guess.
I think she might be feeling behind right now because of the double dip.
Very possible. Yeah, good point. That may change her gameplay style a little bit. In this case, definitely going to help out if she chooses not to go back in there to the left side. Will make up some of that time she lost from doing the double dip.
All right, Phant is looks like heading towards Pyramid now. That's a good choice. Get 2 items out of the way. If Boots comes up or a Medallion, that's gonna really inform. So we're what, 2 items from Go mode? Bombos and Boots.
Yeah, I think you're correct, and yeah, at this point, definitely Pyramid Fairy is a good choice. Got to prioritize the item density since you have nothing else to really go off of, and once it's down to 1 item per check, then it's how much time does it take to check each location.
Yeah. There's Bombos, so okay. So we're one item from Go mode.
Yep, half of what we needed. That gets Phant into Meyer, which unfortunately only has 2 items.
Well, one of them is the Boots. It's not going to matter, but go for crystal number 6. And Maya is now at 5 crystals, but is still because she did not do left side. She saved about 2 minutes or 7 minutes back based on my split differentials. But she's going to need more of that. Like, going to the pyramid like now.
Yeah,
which actually is possible because again, she did a lot of these checks already, so she has a pretty good understanding of what. Okay, she's going to Sank, unfortunately. What she needs. Oh, she's got to activate her flute. So yeah, so we'll see how long it takes before she decides on Pyramid.
Yeah, I would expect an activated flute here, and then a check of the Meyer area, and then a Pyramid Fairy check. Worth noting here, Maya still has not found the 3rd sword, but managed to play this very well so far. The sword difference having an effect, giving Phant an advantage, no doubt, but Maya managing to play well enough that it hasn't been too terribly noticeable. Most of the bosses that are most affected by the Tempered Sword, managing to get them down without too much trouble.
Yeah.
So,
and Silver Arrows is going to negate some of those bosses anyways. But so of course, Meyer, we're sitting 1 item from Go mode. Of course, the first chest is the big key because that's how this works.
Every time.
So no items yet for Maya. Vanilla Boots would be some kind of hack according to our tracker. Yeah, it sure would. I mean, of all the things, it's like that's it. And it was there really for not so much for Phant, but for Maya it was.
Absolutely. Phant finding the first item in Meyer, just a full heart container. Gonna need to search around to see if that second item holds the answer. If not, continue to go wanting for those boots.
Yep.
What our runners don't want to see at this point, no matter where they check, is Quake, of course.
No, yeah, that continues the fetch quest. And, could be a huge red herring, especially if we go by our tracker's logic that, yeah, the boots were behind Helma all along. It's like, that's about as big a middle finger as you can get.
Maya choosing to do a graveyard ledge check instead of the pyramid fairy. Out of the way location, going to take a bit to go there. Very possible could have something. But
yeah, it's like, oh, if only they had a certain item.
I mean, maybe they'll find it in graveyard ledge.
And if Phant's still 1 for 2 on the items, is checking, now going to the other side of Meyer here to close it out. And the great game continues. Graveyard coming up empty. Maya's okay. Vitreous is holding item number 2.
We will have to wait just a little bit longer to see if Meyer has the answer.
Maya is following in Phant's footsteps and is heading towards, or I thought she was, so she looks like she might go into K45.
Yeah, continuing her general strategy of clearing as much overworld as possible.
Well, this would be a huge one, because that was something Phant could have done. Excuse me. Alright. 845. No. Some more bombs. Haven't seen those in a while.
Oh dear, I think we're down to another 50-50 split here between Vitreous and Helmasaur having the item we need.
Yeah, and Helma by proxy through Sarsaparilla. What is...
Magic Bat?
I guess. Yeah, fake powder.
Interesting play. Could be a big play. Could be a huge play.
That, if, yeah, by logic, that ends up being correct. Nope, $50.
And Phant takes down Vitreous super fast. Is that the answer?
Oh, you called it.
Oh dear.
The great game continues.
Well, that does open up quite a few extra checks here. 6 extra checks up on Death Mountain, but not ones that runners wanted to see.
Quake is... The fetch quest continues. So yeah, unless it is a vanilla sarsaparilla here, we're going to Turtle Rock.
And this is I think the right play. Turtle Rock, 6 items up here, so definitely the more item dense location. And like we said, the only other choice is Helmasaur, which is quite a time sink to go and check 1 item. So
Yeah.
Very likely that our boots have wound up in Turtle Rock, likely on Laser Bridge at this point, but we shall see.
Yeah. Yeah, we got 5 items in Turtle Rock, 6 if you count Mimic Cave. So yeah, we've already checked pedestal, so we already know that's not a thing. If it was, they would have had both of those taken care of by now. Alright, so Maya's gonna get Bombos. Ooh, I like this idea. Worst if Ice was on Helma and Boots on Trinex. Oh! You're a cruel man, Mr. Grinch.
Chat's cruelty knows no bounds.
I tell you, man. Talk about your end games. We're already at a Bombos and Boots end game. That's pretty insane as it is. But you throw that in there. Elma's Maya's only chance, hard to see the play. Yeah, that takes, like... Especially with Maya's style, which has really been to prioritize Overworld, and for a time it actually worked out. But now it's becoming a liability, and oh, she burned up all of her magic, doing fake powder. Doing, the fake powder glitch.
Yeah, one of those unfortunate side effects of you got to time when you're going to do that fake powder glitch.
Yeah.
But luckily, having a blue potion to refill.
Yeah. Well prepared for this. Phant handling the opening room. All right, so. Again, it's really down to one item. Once Boots comes in, Phant is going to get out of here as quick as he can. Okay, there's Ether. And now they show up.
Went from no coins to all coins within a matter of about 10 minutes.
Yeah, no kidding. No, Ether is just the ceremonial coin in this case. Not gonna get any usage.
Useful for killing Stalfos in Gan's tower, but at this point, not much else.
Hard to imagine either runner going for that. Right, and there's a burrito for Phant in the chain chomp room.
Oh, I was wondering if we'd see this due to, I think, still feeling behind. Maya is going to do Vitreous first. This is a good play, since Vitreous does end up having an item this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the good play, and again, Maya having to double dip Ice Palace due to lack of magic, and strangely enough, not going left side swamp is depriving her of half magic, which really would come in handy right now, but she will soldier on. There's the big key for Phant. So nothing really so far apart from Ether in terms of items here in Turtle Rock. So it looks like we're heading for a backloaded dungeon.
I would absolutely expect her to go back in for the other item at this point.
Luckily, it's not a huge time investment considering its location. It's not like it's behind the torches.
Yeah, she will save quite a bit of time not having to full clear, so she does end up saving a minute or so by doing this Vitreous first route, but I don't know if that's going to be enough yet.
We're still a ways off from that being a thing. Mimic Cave now.
Those Mimics not playing nicely here.
Alright, so 136.30 for Maya, and nothing in Mimic Cave. So it's about a 5.5 minute gap right now between our runners based on their splits for the 6th crystal, and Maya is not going back in. She is going full tilt on this.
Wow.
All right.
This is, once again, the correct play, but, oh man, is this a gamble.
Yeah, like the tension, I'm sure, for Maya is building and building right now. Because this is getting really, really dicey for her. She skipped left side swamp. She skipped a lot of stuff. Yeah,
as long as she doesn't choose to go back and check those at any point, this is a great play for her and catches her up quite a bit. But if boots are on green pendant, as we've discussed, and she chooses to prioritize going back to left side swamp or back to mire, that's pretty much game over.
Yeah, and I know for her probably it's like she's feeling it. She's like everything is riding on these kinds of gambles right now. She really has to go for it, and she's already in a couple of disadvantages in terms of items. Here's the key to Trinex. All right, 2 chest. Oh, we've got it.
There they are. Phant in go mode at 1 hour 38 minutes.
Yes, 138.11. We have flipped the switch. To answer Chad's question, was Pet Alive? No, it was Piece of Heart. So, moot point either way. Alright, so Phant with 6 crystals can now close this out in Desert, which, it happens. You don't see Desert being the 7th crystal too often.
Yeah, interesting. Boots go mode is a little bit rare. That's certainly nice to see. But yeah, at this point, this is Phant's race to lose, most likely. Maya being, at this point, pretty much exactly a dungeon behind. Yeah,
unfortunately, it's not going to work out unless Maya goes completely for broken GT, goes full right side, the whole shebang, and gets the big key off of Ice Armos or something.
Yeah, I'd say they'd need a heck of a gamble to do that, and also I think to have a chance, she needs to find a sword as well in GT.
Yeah, that's the other problem. Yeah, is it's red sword versus blue. The sword difference was at Catfish.
And a half magic difference now as well that she will never get. So she needs to find a third sword to have a chance.
Yeah, so we'll see. But we'll see. Even with red mail, 13 hearts. I don't know how confident Phant is in just kind of going for it here. Insofar as is he going to make a pit stop at the witches on his way up?
Yeah, 13 hearts, red mail, half magic, silvers. I think you make the play to just go straight forward at this point.
That would be my assumption, especially this late in the tournament. But especially we're at the 140 mark. I mean, yeah, this has not been a fast seed. We've seen seeds be done in under 80 minutes. This has been a grinder.
Yeah, this one has been what I would call a rough seed just because of item layout. Kind of one item leading to the next, and a lot of items being hidden very late game. So definitely a rough seed.
Yeah, it's a breadcrumb seed. They did not get a lot out of the box. I mean, they had a sword and hookshot early, but they've really had to kind of labor for their items.
Yeah, that starting sword was more of a gift than we gave it credit for at the time, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have because you don't have to worry about it later, but Maya's out of magic, so she's got to be careful here.
That is a really funny bunny beam sprite. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, so Phant making his way over to Ganon's tower. I think we forgot to do something, by the way.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, 1 to 22. We got 22 possibilities. What's it going to be, chat? I will say lucky 7.
Ooh, good guess. I always guess number 13. Unfortunately, since we didn't start the bot, only thing you win this time is brownie points, but hey, brownies.
Yeah. I actually, the last time I did this, I actually won. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like 17.
I don't think we're really allowed to win. Every time I win and I'm commentating, people get mad.
Yeah, well. So first two items, magic powder. That's never a bad thing to have. Get some free 7 heart refills. So chest number the torch is bombs. That's 3.
Yeah, it does have that that swag net that we got super early too. Might put a fairy in a bottle just to be safe. I wouldn't expect it at this point, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, never mind. 5, 6. So I got keys. All right, I'm out. 7. We got 3 keys and a fairy with a bottle.
Continuing on. Chest number 8 coming up here.
Yep. This is one I always think is like one of the least common for the big key to show up, and I've seen it, but out of the 22 chests, that always seems like one of the least likely.
Yeah. By the way, Maya does finally manage to grab their boots and is now in go mode as well. Got their boots at about 1:43:55 or so.
Yeah, so about a 5+ minutes behind, and Maya is taking a pit stop before the big finish here. So yeah, in terms of crystals, probably going to be about 6.5 minutes back. There it is.
Number 13 today.
Lucky 13.
I win.
A winner is you. Enjoy those brownie points. Hopefully they actually turn into real brownies.
I mean, I gave the brownie points to myself, so, they'll turn out.
All right.
Congratulations also to Am Turtle for actually putting in a bet that won. Good job. Meanwhile, Phant taking that big key and making their way quickly up Gans Tower. Silver's coming in handy there to knock out a couple of mimics. Gonna flip this switch and be on to the gauntlet.
So yeah, because it looks like, unless if there is indeed a game 3, I believe it is on Friday, if I read that schedule correctly, like 7 o'clock. So that'll be an interesting one. And we see what I've liked about this match tonight is we've seen 2 very different styles of play. Phant being more aggressive with the dungeons, Maya going for the overworld checks. So we weren't seeing like a kind of a rote, follow along. They're both mimicking each other. So and given the way the items played out, it really did have an effect on how things turned out.
Yeah, a lot of checks. That was an interesting move by Phant there, sideways dash kind of thing. Yeah, given the way the items laid out, it was. It could have gone either way pretty easily. If one of those checks that Maya happened to make and prioritize in the overworld had turned out to be super important, this could easily have swung the other way. So that's Rando, of course.
Yeah, if Graveyard Ledge is holding the boots, this is a very different race indeed. What a shame I'll have to miss those races. I'm interested to see how this is playing. It's going to end up playing out insofar as which style wins out in a game 3.
Yeah, I just double checked. You were correct. It is on Friday for a game 3, if that's what it comes to, at 8 p.m. Eastern. So same time as this race was today would be a game 3 between these two.
Yeah, unfortunately, gonna have to miss, but I'm sure it's going to be a good one.
All right, final couple of rooms here for Phant. Stopping off to use that magic powder for an excellent use there to get a full health refill right before the final fight. Meanwhile, Maya enters GT herself at 1 hour 48:38.
Yeah, unfortunately, Phant is 3 rooms away from finishing this.
Yeah, and given where the big key was, there's not really much that Maya can do to catch up much at this point. Phant would have to have quite a lot of trouble with the big pig.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how Agate 2 goes. Kind of an awkward angle there for round 1. Only got 1 beam back. Mistimed round 2, so another single there. There's a good double. And nice single double.
Well, that'll do. And Agate 2 is down. Time to call in the duck, which for some reason is only usable in the Dark World at this specific spot.
Yeah, if they ever remake the game, maybe they can explain that one. Not that they ever should, of course. Maya is going for the tile room. I love it.
I like this. I like this gamble here. Feeling probably quite behind. This is the kind of gamble you make. Meanwhile, Phant starts into their Ganon fight. A very nice double spin off of the Trident there to make sure they got a single phase 1.
Yeah, doing a really nice job, and with Red Mail can afford to take a few hits by the big pig, and sets up nicely into phase 3. And well, $20.
Disappointing there. I was hoping for at least a sword or something for that trouble.
Yeah, it's like come on, you make her do all of this, can't you just give her something?
Well, very quickly, Phant is on to phase 4. Going to pull out those silvers. 4 silver arrows to send the bacon packing.
Nice double there, and that will do it. Get out the GGs for Phant, who is forced to game 3 here in this best of 3 quarterfinal match. So we're going to sudden death, game 3, as Phant will finish with an official race time of 1 hour 51 minutes 30 seconds. So GGs to Phant. And Maya has seen the news and has withdrawn from the race.
Get a second set of GGs in chat for Maya here. Both runners showing amazing skill all throughout this race.
Right, and we are joined by the winner of tonight's race, Phant. GG.
GG's.
Well, we were talking. This was a grinder. Really made you work for it.
Yeah, sure did. There were a couple things that, had I done things in a slightly different order, the pain would be a lot less. But given where when I ended up routing in the dig spot to get the book, and Mitts being locked on Bumper Cave, that was probably the worst part of it.
Yeah.
So I had to go all the way up to Death Mountain twice, the long way, because all that locked the mirror, and it's like, yeah, that was. I wasn't feeling too good at that point because
Yeah.
My opponent did that first before heading up there. That's a huge time save, but I'm not sure what she did.
There were definitely route divergences throughout, and you had 3 crystals right off the bat. Kind of following the breadcrumbs from Sarsarilla's closet, so that got you in the driver's seat early, and the main difference I think was Maya full cleared Eastern, and unfortunately, due to an oversight with the magic, had to do Ice Palace twice.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's where things kind of blew open, and you were pretty comfortably in the lead throughout. After that point, on the other hand, the mishap actually forced Maya to really kind of go for broke. From that point on, like, skipped left side swamp, so missed out on half magic, skipped pretty much all of Meyer, where you did the whole thing because you were looking for those boots.
Man, skipping left side, skipping Meyer, that makes up for most of that difference. So
it does.
The gambles paid off.
And
she caught up a good 4 or 5 minutes. From our rough calculation, she caught up a good 4 or 5 minutes by some of those gambles, which turned out to be correct plays because there wasn't any progression there, but wasn't quite enough.
Right.
Yeah, the other key, but the payoff is immense. Yeah.
Yeah. The other key difference was red sword versus blue sword. Maya didn't get the third sword from it was your second, but Catfish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was pretty happy to see that on Catfish. Depending on what I have on Dark World access, I kind of rope in Catfish pretty early because there's never a really good time to check that. I mean, you could kind of hope and delay Zora and all that stuff, just waiting for mirror flippers and then go group all that together. But it seems so slim that you actually get to do that. So I kind of just treat Catfish always as a crappy one-off that I get out, earlier rather than later. If it's something, great.
Right.
If not, it's like an extra 45 seconds, I think, to get up there ish.
Right.
And check that, which isn't too bad given some of the other crappy one-offs. So.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't mind getting that early.
I don't think you played it that way, but you also had the hook shot, so it's not like okay, well that was a bust. So you just kind of dawdle on over to Thieves Town using the hook shot, I suppose. So
I wasn't going to do that since I had no boots or mirror. So you spend all that time trekking through, trekking back from Catfish. So you have all that time going over. You have to go further south, the hook shot over, and then walk all the way over. So that does give you the benefit of potentially checking Bumper Cave from that side, but usually it's slower than just saving and quitting from Catfish and then just going and this thing.
It was to your credit that you saw the Magic Cave, like off to Bumper Cave.
Yeah, at that point, so getting the cape pull from Ether Tab, at that point I had 4 locations left in the seed, and then that unlocked a 5th. That was the Hera basement, and that was also
Spike Cave.
What is it? Spike Cave, yeah, Spike Cave. Those were 2. Then the other 2 were Eastern Palace Boss and Green Pendant Turn-In. I did not want to do those 2. If I had the knowledge of Mitts being there, I would have skipped out on Hera Basement and Spike Cave, because I didn't, and because I didn't know where Mirror was, I decided to knock those 2 out right there, because just how punishing it would be if something was there.
Yeah,
potentially lost a bit of time there, but then going over to Bumper Cave, easy choice over clearing those 2 pendant dungeons without boots, without flute, and without mirror. It's just a real bad situation if it ended up there. So I'm glad nothing ended up being there.
Maya actually did basement and spike cave. Both came up completely empty, unfortunately. So but a well-deserved win, and now you get one more shot at this.
Mm-hmm. Got pushed into Game 3, which I think is going to be Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Somewhere TBD.
Oh, Chad, want to ask about your brain fart? I think Lost the Pirate means you skipping the NPC in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Did I really?
You definitely did.
My God. Yeah, good thing nothing was there.
You hookshot around behind him, so you never actually talked to him.
All right. Optimizations, let's go. Saving like 5 frames.
Yeah, I think it was $20 if I remember right. So yeah.
We were a little worried this one was going to be over super early if NPC had something important, because we knew you weren't.
Yeah, if NPC had the mitts, I would have never found that. Absolutely would have never found it. So yeah, I usually do at least one stupid thing every seed, so that'll be mine for this one, and thankfully it didn't burn me.
Better to be lucky than good, I say.
Oh, always, absolutely,
always.
So, as Pro said, forced to Game 3 here. Any change to your strategy going into Game 3 now that you know you have to pull out all the stops, so to say?
Probably not. I'm feeling pretty good about the matchup. Like Maya, I watched her VOD back last time. I'll watch her VOD this time as well. Probably the race VOD, and just see how she does. But I think I have an execution advantage. But it's not enough where I can like freely go full clear the game. It's enough like I get like maybe 1 or 2 convenient extra checks in, or I could make a different play and still be okay. But by no means not enough. I still have to play in top form and make sure I don't do any obnoxiously inefficient plays. So just staying efficient, being on point execution wise, making sure quick swap is on, because that was a big problem in the first race. And what lost me the race is I was on a setup at my friend's house on the East Coast. I'm back on the West Coast. And I had one monitor I had to play with like input delay on OBS of like 20 frames, 15 to 20 frames. And then I had 0 audio, and I forgot to turn quick swap on on the setting because I hadn't generated a seat on that computer yet. So I kind of like go in, and then I pressed L and R and nothing happened. I was like, oh no. Yeah. I ended up losing that race by a little over a minute. It was like that was that. It's like, okay. This one I was back on my old setup, so I was feeling a lot more confident. And I think if we follow the same routes, I think I have an advantage. But the weirder a seed gets, the worse I feel about it. And Maya's definitely the caliber of player where she could easily take Game 3 off of me. I can't relax.
This was a weird seed, and certainly your different play styles in terms of how you go about getting items could also play a fairly significant difference, I think, at least based on how this one went out. We'll see. So it's gonna be a good one, I think. So we'll
see where the items lie.
Rando can always rando.
Exactly.
Yep. The rando giveth, and the rando taketh away.
Map that could easily decide this series. Just one item placement being, somewhere else. Like that NPC. If the NPC in Moldorm Cave had it, Maya would be going on to the finals 2-0. Or the semifinals. Semifinals 2-0. Yeah, this is round of 8.
Right.
So as we mentioned, Game 3 coming up Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I think you guys have still had that scheduled?
Yep, 8 p.m. Eastern.
So chat, tune in for what will absolutely be another amazing race, I have no doubt.
Absolutely.
And, best of luck to Maya on Game 3 as well. Rando is always tough. It feels bad sometimes. It's like, man, if I just did something one way differently, I would have won. Everybody always thinks that. every time. Me too, and it's just it's just super rough to deal with. But you know, we're both in the top 8, so I'm pretty happy. Like if I go out on Friday, I'm still perfectly happy with my performance, and I hope Maya feels the same way. Because getting to the top 8 was tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
See who can make it to the semis.
Yep. All right. Well, good luck, and thanks to my co-com Corvain for joining me this evening. A pleasure, and Scupula for doing the tracking solo. So, and thanks to ZSR as always for putting this on, and Lost the Pirate for restreaming.
Thankfully, both the runners were willing to wait about 10 minutes for me to slap everything together at the very last minute. I had literally just gotten home and they were like, hey, the race is supposed to start. Do we have a restreamer or not? I was like, oh, okay, well, let's make this happen, shall we?
I think you lost.
Chat, you win! You got to watch this awesome race. This is a hype one. And yes, we do have the game 3 of this series Friday at 8:10 p.m. We have a whole lot of A Link to the Past and the Wind Waker Randomizer between now and then. We have like 12 Link to the Past matches between Challenge Cup and Cross Keys, and we've got the Wind Waker Randomizer main tournament and Challenge Cup as well. We have way more than is appropriate for me to rattle off, but I am going to send y'all over. We've got Cross Keys going on over on the main channel right now, so we are gonna go raid up Tam versus Magnet Hands. Sorry, my monitor is a little further from my face than usual. And we're gonna go cheer them on. They've been at this for a little while, but Cross Keys tends to run a little longer than standard rando, so there should still be plenty of race. Thank you very much to all the volunteers, all the runners. Thank you, chat, for being here to enjoy this. We'll see y'all later.
Good one.